A welcoming ceremony for the President of Senegal at the Élysée Palace, home to the leaders of France since the 19th century. And we're back now with more of our exclusive interview with French President Macron ahead of his state visit to Washington this week. President Trump likes to call himself a disruptor, determined to transform the American economy. But when it comes to shaking things up, he has nothing on his French counterpart. Let's talk about your political movement, En Marche, on the Move. How would you describe your reform agenda to Americans?
So my reform agenda is to modernize the country. We fixed labor law. We fixed corporate taxes. We are modernizing the different sectors, railway and so on. And we will pursue this modernization agenda till the end. And at the same time, we will launch with Germany a very strong approach in order to modernize as well the EU, the European Union and Eurozone agenda. That's my top priority, because I want this country to be both much stronger and totally adapted to the new challenges like digital and green economy.
When you came into office, the unemployment rate was 9.5%. It's now 8.9%. Growth is at 2%, which is the fastest rate in 10 years. But your critics say you are the president of the rich. How do you plead?
When you have 10% unemployment, are the rich the victim? I'm not so sure. The more you decrease unemployment, the more you serve poor people because you provide a job. So my policy is focused on job creation, helping business people and entrepreneurs in order to accelerate the job creation. My agenda is an emancipation agenda, I would say. I want people coming from poor neighborhood, from middle classes, to succeed through education and work in my country. When you have a country with a lot of public expenditure, with a high unemployment, your victims are poor people and people coming from poor neighborhoods.
One of your main targets has been the national railway system. Jobs for life, guaranteed benefits for life, train engineers can retire at 52, but in your reform you don't want to end that for the people who currently have it, only for future workers. I must tell you, and you probably wouldn't hear this much in France, there are some American conservatives who say, why not go further?
Look, I'm not running the US. They should leave me the floor to run France. Because I know the situation, I know what is fair and unfair and what can be delivered and cannot be delivered. Why? Because I think the system is fine if for the current workers we preserve the situation. But given the fact that we will have to take a lot of new workers, we want to clarify the situation and hire them as a normal company. You can always say you should do more when you are not the one in charge of it. I'm in charge, believe me, I take some commitments, I deliver. But I deliver to take fair and efficient decisions, not to take unfair or inefficient decisions.
You talk about fairness. Let's talk about your tax reforms. You have dramatically cut the stiff tax on wealth, but you are taxing retirees more heavily. How is that fair?
Look, first, indeed, I cut a wealth tax, which was a strong handicap for the French economy. Why? Because when people succeeded with their company and so on, especially entrepreneurs, they had to leave the country if they wanted to escape. So we lost a lot of opportunities. When they reinvest in the economy, when they create jobs, when they decide to reinvest in different listed or non-listed corporates, I don't want them to pay a wealth tax because they are good for the economy. So I think this reform is both efficient and fair. As for the retired people, I ask them a small effort. But why is it fair? Because in France, workers pay for retirement for retired people. That's a solidarity between generations. If I don't manage to push my country to have better results, more workers, and more purchasing power for my workers, I will jeopardize my capacity to pay retirements for retired people. So that's fair. That's a fair deal. And I told my retired people, first, thank you. I told you during the campaign I will do it. It's not a surprise. I don't betray you. And third, in a certain way, it is fair. Because when you look at the average in the society, retired people are slightly richer than middle class working people. And when you look at the situation between the different categories, 30 to 40 years ago, people get retired at the same age as today, but living 15, 20 years less than today. So the situation totally changed. I ask these efforts. I know it's difficult. You have always protest when you change something in the country, but I do endorse these efforts because I think it's fair, and it's, once again, fair in general between the different generations and efficient in order to increase my results.
One result of all this is that you have had major protests. You have had these 2-day-a-week strikes. One demonstration, 200,000 people took to the street. Any chance that you will back down?
No chance. The classical way to proceed in France was to say, we have an issue. We will put new public money in order to solve this issue, which is not the right way to fix the situation. What I told a French citizen before election is that I want to address the deep roots of our problems. It will take time sometimes. We will have to take bold decisions, but we have to fix the situation in depth. So we will deliver. And I have no other choice, because if I stop here, because some protests, and they are legitimate, but they are a minority part of the country. If I stop, how do you think I will be able to modernize the country and make this U-turn? It's finished. So I will deliver, because that's my duty and that's my commitment.
But your poll numbers are down. You were elected with 66% of the vote. In the latest poll, 58% disapprove of you, only 40% approve.
You know, polls are not the one to tell where you have to go when you are elected. If you follow the polls, you never reform. You never fix a situation. You never transform. Because you're always obsessed by following where people want to go. I was elected on a very clear basis and a very clear mandate. I will deliver the mandate. And I will look at the polls in due time. Not now.
You talk about what it takes to be a leader. You embrace symbols. On your election victory night, they played the Ode to Joy at the Louvre. The first time you addressed the French Parliament, it was at Versailles. And you have even said that France, to some degree, is still a monarchy. Is that how you see your role as a leader?
I don't want to be a monarch. I'm president of the French Republic. I'm elected and I'm under the control of my people, which is very important to me, because this is the only way to have a strong stimulus to work and to do your best. I mean, it puts a lot of responsibility on your own. So each day you have to think about that, and this sort of symbolical burden you have because of this history and because of this place of the country. I do endorse it.
Some in the French press compare you to Napoleon. Some have compared you to Louis XIV, your predecessor in this office, and your former political patron, Francois Hollande, has warned you to remember that the French also cut off the head of the king. Do you ever feel you need to guard against being arrogant?
Definitely. But having authority, deciding, being aware of all the consequences of your decision, and thinking that you have to stick to your decision to deliver when it's good for the country, is not the same as being authoritarian or arrogant. So I try to preserve myself. I mean, all of us have a lot of defaults and weaknesses. But I think the situation of my country is the best remedy of being arrogant. You are not allowed to do so. I'm here to serve my people and my country and make it great again, as somebody I know very well could say. But that's it. That's the whole story. And making great again means delivering good results, having more unity for the country, and being fair with the people. So all this criticism you mentioned are just here to say, now somebody decides and endorses. You have a parliamentary control, you have election, you have a democratic system. We are one of the greatest democracies in this world. But here, in this current situation, because all the challenges in France, in Europe, in our world, I have to take these responsibilities. And I have to decide to endorse and to remain every day both lucid and committed. And I am.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thanks
to
you
for talking to us, and safe travels to Washington.
Thanks very much. Thanks to your people, and I will be very honored to come and visit your country and speak with your leaders. Thank you.
Thank you.